Good afternoon, YouTube, and boy, gentlemen, boy, am I excited today to share with you guys another amazing watch for your collection. So you guys know, now let me just state, if you're new to this channel, this is why I kind of have these intros. Because guys, not everybody subscribes to the channel. Not everybody has seen my other videos. Not everybody kind of knows my standpoint on, on watches, right? Now, I review all kinds of stuff on this channel. As you guys know, if you've been here before, for those of you who are new, I'm a huge watch collector. A little bit about my resume on watch collecting. I don't take it too seriously. This is supposed to be a fun hobby, and these are accessories ultimately at the end of the day. I don't get too involved in the heritage. I don't really, and not to say that people who are really involved in the heritage and care about a company or a brand's history, I think it's all interesting, but ultimately at the end of the day, I just have to like it and enjoy wearing it. And that's really, it's as simple as it can possibly be. It's very lighthearted. Now, I do have, as far as the watches I own, I have over, I think, close to 160 now. So I have a pretty good idea of what your dollar gets you. I've worked with hundreds of different brands, not just on smart home tech or electronics and all the other amazing brands and products that I've reviewed, but I've worked with a lot of different watch companies. So I know the channel, if you've been watching me for a while, has kind of changed a lot over the years. I don't just review watches now, but watches is always kind of like my number one thing that I collect. There's always going to be another one added to my collection. Every time I say I'm going to cool it for a little while, a couple weeks goes by and I'm buying something else, right? Or a company's reaching out and sending me stuff. So today, the brand I want to talk about today is a company called Tactical Frog. Now, back in the day, back in the 80s, the stuff coming out of China, it was inferior to stuff coming out of Japan and stuff coming out of, like, naturally the United States. That is not the case anymore. Modern machining, modern technology has really increased the quality of everything coming out of China. Watches is just one of those items, right? So when you think about back in the day, the fakes being sold in New York or on Canal Street, whatever, with the guy with the coat, you know what I'm saying? We all have that stereotype of where fakes are sold. There was a real difference with buying watches like that from China. The quality just wasn't there. When we're looking at stuff nowadays, it's actually incredible what you get for your money. And that's why in the watch community, there's a lot of snobbery. There's a lot of guys who still think they're living those old dark ages that think that you just can't get a watch for $150 that's on par with like a Rolex. Now, part of that's true, right? And I've done many videos and many controversial discussions about this stuff. Of course there are differences when you're going to spend $10,000 on a watch. But again, those differences are extremely subtle. You pretty much need a macro lens to really be able to see any kind of difference. You're not going to pick up that watch and hold a $150 watch. Again, depending on, and that's just not across the board. I mean, it depends on the brand, depends on what you're looking at. But you're just not, if you get a good quality watch, it's good quality. And I always like to kind of compare quality with watches. It's not like a extreme curve like a lot of these snobs lead you to believe. Like, oh, no comparing a Rolex and an Aqua Dive, or no comparing a Rolex and an INVICTA, or whatever brand you choose. That's nonsense. There are differences, but they're subtle. They're not the differences that they want you to believe. And that's because it's hard for their little minds to wrap around the fact that, wow, what are you paying for? So that's a whole different video. I have tons of those, but what I am talking about today is Tactical Frog. So this is another one of these Chinese brands that you're going to see pop up on AliExpress and eBay, and you'll see them on Amazon. Brands such as like Steel Dive, Addy's Dive. If you go to any of those sites, you're going to see tons of watches like this Pagani design. These are kind of these Chinese made, which really most things in our world are made in China nowadays. But these are the kind of watches you're going to see. They're Chinese made, Chinese branded, and they try to reach out to company or to guys like me to build some brand awareness. You're not going to find these for the most part in stores. You're just going to have to take a chance and buy one. So it's nice that I have such a passion for watches, because guys like me review this stuff and give you guys the honest opinion on what I think of the quality. And you will get guys who have their own motivation, their own reasons for cutting brands down. And I can tell you, with all the 160 watches that I have by I don't know how many different brands, and all the watches I've held that are luxury brands, I can honestly tell you that you're getting incredible quality. You're not going to pick up one of these watches and say, oh man, that's not, that's garbage. This is not going to happen. So this watch here is a sub 300T Homage. Now, I'm a huge fan of Homage watches because there are some watches out there like the Rolex, and it's a nice, clean, simple design. It's not over the top like one of the Invictas that I love to wear as well, or Aragons, but it's a watch that it's just, you know, you can just wear it around the house. You can wear it out. It's very universal. You know, there's not all the time do I want to wear a 70mm Invicta Sea Hunter, right? Sometimes I want a smaller watch. So, which is this guy right here. So we're going to talk about this. So this is a homage to the Doxa sub 300T. Doxa is a kind of a vintage styled micro brand. I consider it a micro brand. I don't think, you know, and some people may argue that. I consider a micro brand any company you're just not going to see in a big box brick and mortar store. You know, it's not a mainstream brand. So you're not going to the best of my knowledge, go into a store and find a Doxa. You're going to have to get it, you know, on their website or secondhand, right? So Doxa is a really cool brand, and let me just stop rambling for a second and just show you what we're going to be talking about today. So this is exactly what this watch is modeled after, a Doxa sub 300T. I've been eyeballing a Doxa for a very long time, and I'm not the guy who would ever spend $2,000 on a watch, despite the fact that I do have watches in that price range. One of my Aqua Dives is a watch that's kind of considered a real tool watch. It's on par with something like the Doxa, and Doxa is a very well-respected brand amongst all watch collectors, even the snobs. So when I tell you that a lot of these entry-level brands are on par with some of these expensive brands, I'm not giving you guys a line of BS. Now, again, I'm sure there are differences if you compare this to the actual Doxa, but they're going to be so subtle you may not even notice them. You're probably not going to notice them unless they're pointed out. So let's talk about some of the main points on this that I really like when it comes to this vintage style case. And the vintage style watch, I guess, they generally have kind of that flared out case. And this is kind of the shape that you'll see a lot of guys refer to as a vintage styled dive watch. It's very classic, it's very iconic. Hopefully that's going to focus here, guys. Make sure we can get a focus here. I'm not sure why we're having an issue here. There we go. All right. And so I have many different watches with this shape. Another example of what I consider like a vintage style case is like a Seiko Captain Willard, you know. And that watch is I believe from the movie Apocalypse Now, and I guess I think I'm saying that right, Captain Willard wore it. So it's got that kind of that title for it. And so that's got a very unique case. That's why I prefer watches like this even over like the Rolex style watches. Even though I have a lot of them, I worked with a lot of different companies. It's a very classic, popular design. Everybody and their brother makes a homage to that. I love the fact that they finally came out with a Doxa Homage. And there are no companies who have ever done this. And this popped up recently on my AliExpress list, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And I knew that when you get brands like this, again, comparing them to like Steel Dive and Addy's Dive, I knew this was going to be on par quality. They probably come out of the same factory. So just an incredible looking watch, and I'm going to get to the specifics in a second. One guy did a review on this, and he compared it to the Doxa, and one of his complaints, this is, in my opinion, a perfect example of somebody really being dishonest with their review. He was turning the bezel, and there was all kinds of backplay in the bezel. So when I saw that video, honestly, I was like, wow, that's a lot. Like, let's just see what kind of quality we're going to get out of this, you know? And when I got it, I can tell you that the bezel on this is super tight. I mean, there is no backplay on this bezel. It's solid. All the indices line up, the pip lines up, which is more than I can say for some of the Seikos out there and some of the Rolexes. Another thing that this particular brand, and of course Doxa, the one it's modeled after, they use this bracelet, which is very unique, and I've only seen it on a few watches. Doxa is known for that, and this is what they call their grains of rice or beads of rice band. So each one of those inner links looks like a grain of rice. Very unique, very different. You know, when it comes to comfort, you know, to me, I wear watches up to 70mm. I wear small watches. They're all comfortable to me. I've never had an issue with any watch being comfortable. I guess if you're more sensitive, you know, and I don't mean emotional, but if you are more sensitive and you nitpick things, then of course you're gonna, you know, we can nitpick anything. We can easily pick up any watch, be like, oh, it's uncomfortable if you don't like it, right? And that's what I find a lot of guys do. They have to rationalize their purchase, so they will pick up watches that are like this, and there's no way this could be on par with a Doxa, right? That doesn't compute for $150, $165. This can't be as good as a $2,500 watch. But the fact of the matter is, it's pretty close, right? Now, I just want to kind of correct myself there a little bit. I've never had a Doxa on in hand, right? I haven't, so I can't give you guys an honest, side-by-side comparison. But I can tell you that, other brands that are on par, that other people have reviewed and talked about, like my Aqua Dive, it's about $2,000. That's the price. You're not going to get it for less. That's kind of in that tier. Honestly, all these watches are so close in quality. I don't want to use the word scary, but it's incredible, really. So let's talk a little bit about the specifics. So I opted to go with the orange, and orange is a classic Doxa color. I remember the first time I saw the Doxa in a movie, and it was Sahara with Matthew McConaughey. I think that's the movie, and I forget the character's name in there. He owns the boat. He owns like the company. It's been a while since I've seen it, but he's wearing one of these, and it just instantly pops that orange. And orange is such a cool color for a dive watch. It's the most easy to read color underwater, and that's why a lot of dive watches use orange. Surprisingly, there aren't tons of dive watches that have orange. I can think Seiko has a few. Doxa, of course. I think you can get. Obviously, the steel dive. They just came out with the tuna, which I reviewed the other day. There's not a lot, and INVICTA. I have a couple INVICTAs that are orange. It's an incredible color, and it just really screams diver's watch, and I love it. It's really cool. Now, I did have a little bit of a little pickle, so to speak. I wasn't sure what color to get, and because it is a homage to the Doxa, I wanted it to be. I wanted to scream Doxa, right? And so they do, and Doxa does make other colors, and one of the colors I really like is the teal. And it's an incredible looking color as well, and you don't see a lot of that in watches. And I almost bought that, but I did opt to go with the orange. I'll probably eventually get the teal. I'm hoping, I'm going back and forth with Tactical Frog. I'm hoping that maybe they'll send me the blue one for review. We'll see. I'd love to get my hands on that. It's a gorgeous watch. It's a gorgeous piece. I took it out. Normally I don't wear watches out like when I'm doing stuff like going out fishing or on the boat. But when I went out on the boat the other day, I had to rock the Doxa, right? It's an incredible watch. What's really cool about it is that their logo, the Tactical Frog logo, I like the fact that they only put the logo on the top right there, and I'm not sure, maybe every watch is a little different. I don't like some of my other ones. It's like right at the 12 o'clock position, you have your logo and name. So with this, they kind of hit it underneath, a little above hopefully you can see it there, a little bit above the 6 o'clock position. So, if you were to look at this pretty quick, and of course I'm not the kind of guy who's I have a few fake watches, right? But if somebody asks me, I'm not going to be like, yeah, it's a Rolex. I'm going to be like, yeah, it's a fake, it's $50. I just don't like lying about stuff like that. It's just a mental thing. People, you do what you want to do what makes you happy. I have enough watches. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to wear a specific brand in order for people to, to feel like I'm successful. I like what I like, and that's the end. That's it at the end of the day. So, and a lot of people buy watches for that reason, for the perception of others. If that's important to you, yeah, you probably should just spend the $2,000 to get the Doxa. But for me, what I do like about this, though, is that the logo, again, if you were to look at it really quick, you would just assume this could potentially be a Doxa. You'd have to kind of look at it. And I just want to give you guys, let me just check something real quick. And give you guys the current price. Whoops. Doxa sub 300T. And I believe the Doxas are, I think you can only get them on their website. Let me just see here. Oh no, there's other companies selling them. Actually pay a little more for them going with, actually wait a minute, Doxa, sorry, wrong site. So the price can fluctuate. Low is at $2,000, as high as I've seen about $2,500. And there are many different variations. They have the blue, the yellow. You can get it with the stainless bracelet, which I love. You can get it with the rubber strap or the leather strap, whatever they put on it. I will say that there are a few subtle differences on these. So the original Doxa, when you're looking at that, the Doxa's name is actually offset at the 12 o'clock position. It's more towards the 10 o'clock position. So that's kind of a dead giveaway. Again, you don't buy it. If you want the Doxa, just get the Doxa. But it is a little bit off. That's one thing I wish they would have done on this watch, is just kind of copy that location, right? But it makes sense that they put the Tactical Frog logo right in the middle, because otherwise offset it might look like a mistake, whereas Doxa, you have the name Doxa. So just personal preference, I guess, what they decide to do. I do notice that the bracelet on the actual real Doxa or the you know, the Doxa, the grains of rice, or the beads of rice as they call it, look larger. They're fatter. Now that might just be the image or the picture, because when you look at the bracelet, it looks very similar in size, but I'm not sure how they would squeeze in 5 different links and have them be that thick, but maybe they did, you know, not really sure. I encourage you guys to click the link in description. As always, with every single video, there's a link in description. You can check this out, read more about it, or make a purchase. And you can check out the blue color as well. So as far as you know, yeah, they call the original Doxa, they call the aquamarine. And that's not aqua color, so it's a great color. I really had a hard time deciding, and I wanted to get just the original Doxa-like color, but I'm going to have to get that aquamarine. I really hope the company sends it to me. It's beautiful. As far as the other differences on these watches, the Tactical Frog actually says tachometer, right? And the, let's see here, the markings are a little bit different on the bezel. But basically you have an outer bezel, you have an inner ring. The lume on this isn't bad. It's not as great as, say, you know, like my Aqua Dive or some of the other brands I have, but it's better than Invicta, that's for sure. It's on par with what, if you're familiar with like a Addy's Dive or Steel Dive, it's on par with those brands. And so a little bit more, again, about the specifics on what you get for your money. Now right now, these, I would say, for the watches and the brands coming out of China, they're a little bit more. You know, most of the time you can get brands like Addy's Dive and Steel Dive with that quality and that price point, about 99 bucks, 110 bucks. This is going for about 171. If there's a coupon I saw that went on sale a couple days ago for 165. I got mine directly on the Watch Dives website, and that is their company website. So you would think they'd have it listed as Tactical Frog. It's not. And I know there was a little bit of question there when I ordered. I'm like, God, I hope this is a legit site. It is a legit site. I will put the link in the description. And these have a 3-year warranty. Again, it is called the Sub 300 by Tactical Frog. It has the, you know, well-respected NH35 Seiko automatic movement. It says it has 41 hours of energy storage. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it might be. 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel. It does have a brushed and mirror polished finish. 200 meters of water resistance, or 20 ATMs. The luminescence is Swiss C3 green. It is, I believe, a it's a, well, screw down crown, screw down case back, but I believe it's a sapphire crystal. But again, don't quote me on that. I find it odd they don't list that. And I've heard. Okay, here it is. I'm sorry. So sapphire crystal with AR coating. So I believe that. It's kind of odd they have the AR, anti-reflective coating. So that's pretty cool that you do get a sapphire crystal as well. Some of you guys are super into that. You have to have it. If it doesn't have it, like a watch is garbage. To me, I've never scratched any crystal, from Flame Fusion to Cristerna to K1. You know, you name it, I've had it, and none of them scratch. So if you're pretty hard on your watches, maybe that's a concern. But for me, it never has been. So incredible watch, guys. Beautiful milled clasp. You have 3 micro adjustments, dual push button deploying clasp, and your safety latch. You know, pretty standard stuff, but I do like the fact it's dual push button deploying. One they always hate about the Invictas is they just have friction. Haven't had a problem with that, but yeah, I just like the dual push button. I think it's just a little bit nicer. Just an incredible watch. And if you are a fan of vintage style timepieces and you are a fan of Doxa, definitely check this out. I was thrilled that somebody finally came out with this. You know, these brands are incredible. So you do get the box. I like these boxes. They're pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple. It doesn't hold the watch or anything like that. Let me show you the Steel Dive one. Same exact box as a Steel Dive, just different sticker. You know, again, guys, you know, I never really care about the box, but, you know, I keep like media cards in here and stuff for my recording. It has some eggshell foam in there. You know, it doesn't have any way to really hold the watch. You just kind of put it in there and it flops around. So, you know, not the best, not the best of boxes, but who really cares? You know, all my watches, they don't, you know, I don't store them in the boxes, they go in the safe. So, just an incredible piece, guys. Measurement on this, 12.9 millimeters in case thickness, 20 millimeters at the lugs. Case size is 44 by 43, and that's it. They do have an exchange policy, I guess, if you had a problem. And again, guys, it is an incredible piece. So without further ado, let's throw on the wrist. I'm about 5'7.5". I weigh about 176 pounds. and I have a 7-inch wrist. So this is what a watch this size looks like on me. It's a classic size, not too big, not too small. You know, for you Invicta lovers out there, obviously it's going to be more of your normal size watch, right? You know, anytime, most Invicta lovers, you know, we all love the 50s, but you know, like I said, guys, there's a time and a place for all kinds of watches, and you know, when I'm just thinking around, hanging around the house, you know, not really going to showboat or anything like that, you know, these are much more subtle pieces, and they're just, this is just an incredible watch. I mean, it's just, everything about it is beautiful. Now, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like Homage watches and you'd rather go with the real deal, of course, go ahead and spend $2,000 to $2,500 and you can have the real Doxa. But if you want that look and an incredible quality watch, look no further. You will love this. Again, as far as colors, I'm not going to mention the Doxa colors. I'm not sure everything they have, but with Tactical Frog, this is available in the orange, the yellow, the blue, that teal. Some websites, I don't even know on this site, some will refer to that as green. It's a teal. You have the black, the white, did I say that? Blue, navy blue, orange, teal, yellow, white, and black. Lots of options, but I tell you, you know, the yellow and the orange pop. The teal is gorgeous. I'm going to have to get another one. They're awesome. So check it out, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. If you haven't found me on Instagram, I have a few pictures of this watch on Instagram if you want to know more. If you guys need any help trying to make a purchase, remember, links are in the description of every single video. If you have any questions that, you know, I could, you know, set your mind at ease, you know, about making a purchase, you know, great. I'm always around. Drop me a comment, drop me an email. I'm always here to help, guys. As always, remember, links are in the description. AliExpress and eBay are the links that, if you don't feel comfortable going with like an actual, you know, website, watch dives, you know, ultimately they're the same price across the board. So I like AliExpress a little more when ordering stuff like that because they're just like eBay. You know, you get a tracking number. Of course, Watch Dives does that too, but there is somebody holding the company accountable. But remember, I haven't had any issue ordering directly from the website. Shipping time was pretty fast. I think it was under 7 days. It probably will take a little longer on AliExpress, but I'm not really sure. It may be the same. So I know with other things I've ordered on AliExpress and DHgate, they've taken a lot longer. This was really quick. So that's mainly why I ordered directly off the website, because I had heard from other people who bought this that the shipping time was fantastic. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if I could help. And as always, guys, have a great day. Be kind to one another and take care.